Hi, my name's Ronan and welcome to Tokyo Haneda Airport.
My name's Alex, joining us on this British Airways 787-9 in first class, all the way back to London Heathrow.
Let's go and check in and see what this experience is like.
So we go, we've just got through check-in and security in probably about 15 minutes. Check-in process was a breeze. When it opened, they had two people kind of on each desk, so one person was doing the tags, whereas the other person was kind of checking passports and doing all that sort of stuff. We then went through to security. It's not the gel security here, it's the, unless you're flying gel first class, you get fast track security, which is business and first. And that seemed to be pretty quick, maybe a little bit disorganised, but nothing too horrendous. And we've just got through there in 10 minutes or so. So yeah, all great so far. And now let's head to the...
So here we are just airside in Terminal 3 at Tokyo Haneda Airport. It's quite an interesting terminal. It's very narrow and thin on the airside side compared to actually the check-in area, which is quite large. But here we are at the JAL First Class Lounge and the other JAL Lounge. As you can see, the opening times there. You head up on an escalator, and the escalator is actually, it feels like it's going quite a long way, but you'll really not. It's just up to the JAL First Lounge. On this part, there's only going to be a little snippet of the lounge, and we're going to have another video out soon about the actual JAL First Class Lounge. But as you can tell from here, it's won a Skytrax award. It's quite opulent, very Japanese, but as I said, we'll show you more about this in our upcoming video about the JAL Lounge. But here we are at the Cafe Lounge, which you get access to if you're silver or gold with One World, or if you're travelling business or first. This lounge was very much like the Cafe Lounge at Heathrow, which we've already got a video about, so do feel free to head over there and check that video out. But it was time then, after Alex had been to the toilet, to head down to the gate to meet our Boeing 787, which will be taking us all the way back to London. Boarding was rather strange. They boarded Group 1 and 2 at the same time, but I suspect that's just efficiency. It allows them to get the aircraft boarding, and even on with a British Airways aircraft, they had boarded the aircraft incredibly quickly. It was a bit of a shame. There was a little bit of a queue before boarding, but nothing too long. And as you'll see now, it wasn't a great boarding experience when you consider someone could have paid £6,000 for this ticket. That's fine, yeah. Thank you. That's really nitpicky, but if you've paid £6,000, it's not a real great start to the trip. But as we headed down, we went straight to the front of the 787. First class on British Airways is in a 1-2-1 configuration, and there's 2 rows. And we were sat in the middle ones at the front in row 1. But here was our home for the next sort of 15 hours. Quite a long flight, and we're going to show you more of what it was like very shortly.
As you can see here, there's a rather handy storage closet, which is a perfect size for storing a jumper or a light puffer jacket. On the leg rest, there was a set of unbranded headphones. I know these are branded at other airlines in their first class cabins, so it's a bit of a shame these were unbranded, and there is also a light blanket as well. Eventually, the cabin crew took our pre-departure drink preferences. We, of course, went for the champagne, which was served with some canapes, which were really nice touch. Oh, and of course the champagne is served in a full flute, not the half flute or whatever it is you get in business class or their Club World cabin. We were also given our mini ticket and our requested pair of pyjamas.
So we were also given our first menu, and it comes out in sort of just a nice bit of card and paper. You had the amuse-bouche, you had the starters, the main courses, the sides, also some desserts and cheese boards, and also some light bites. You can actually choose to eat any time during the flight, so we did decide to eat later, and we'll show you a lot more about that later in the video. But even they brought out a nice, very hot towel, which we certainly used. And now over to the British Airways safety demonstration.
We will now demonstrate the safety features of this aircraft, and your attention is essential, as this may be different from any aircraft that you've flown on before.
Do I smell the winds of war? I see smoke on the horizon.
Smoking, including e-cigarettes, vaping, and the use of other smoking devices, is not...
Et c'était du first class?
During the takeoff roll out of Haneda, my reading light fell out of the socket, and I mean this must have been broken on the inbound flight. Did try to put it back in without success. Alerted the cabin crew as they came around after departure. Obviously there wasn't anything they could do. This meant the reading light wasn't working and wasn't functioning, so it did have to have the main light on throughout the flight, which was a bit annoying. Onto the amenity kit then. So we had a nice red one. I think it might have been a Christmas special one possibly, and it all comes with LMA stuff, as you can see here. Deodorant, some sort of moisturiser, lip balm, toothbrush. I have to be honest, I don't think the stuff in here, in terms of what you get and all that, it doesn't really give me any premium vibes. It would be perfect for business, but for first class, I'm not convinced. So moving on to show you the table then, which I thought was really sturdy. So it just comes out like this, and that side there is perfect for writing. It's got some sort of special padding on it, and then it folds out like that to give you a glossy finish. Big table, as you can see there were a few marks on it, just popping that away there. The seat controls to move it into a bed or to just recline the seat, it comes with this circular thing. I got used to it probably just after takeoff, yes, you can. It's fairly easy to work out once you've kind of gone through all the different options. I think some people like it, some people hate it. Let us know if you like this system or not in the comments. So by the side of your seat there is this cubbyhole compartment which reveals 2 USB sockets as well as a universal power socket, and here's me just showing you the privacy divider, because I was getting bored of Ronan by this point into the whatever hour flight it was. Just to show you the kind of just general condition of the seat, I thought it was a little bit on the grubby side, as you can see here. Bit of dirt from previous flights, and there was, as you can see, it was quite chipped, the seat as well. Definitely showing its age. Oh, and here's what the reading light would have looked like if it was working and didn't fall out of the socket.
So this isn't included with BA First Class, but something I would really recommend is an eye mask for really long flights. I'll be taking these on all of them in the future. But at eye level in the seat, you have this sort of cubby space, enough for your toiletry bag, passport, and it's got a little mirror there if you're doing your makeup or just putting some moisturiser on. It was actually quite a useful area. But we requested straight after departure to get our beds made, and it's just over 6 foot, plenty of room, and it's quite wide, which is also really nice for someone like myself. It gives you just that little bit of extra space. You can easily lay on your side in here without your bottom hitting anything in its way. But the pillows, again, really comfy. And here you can see Alex getting his eye mask on, ready to head to sleep. Quite a few people ate, but obviously as you can dine any time, we didn't want to do that because we kind of wanted to sync our clocks back over to UK time, especially with the length of this flight. We're about 9 hours into the flight now, and we're just getting ready for our meal service. Very much looking forward to seeing what this 3-course meal will be like. So let's see what this is going to be like. Sorry about the lighting, it's a bit dark in the cabin, but let's get started. So with only one cabin crew present at this time, Alex's side was set up first, and you can see what it looks like. Really nice layout. This is something that I always think BA gets really right, and that is the first class dinner service. They really know how to lay a table correctly. Really nicely done. A nice sort of butter that you can use, it's not too cold, and here you can see just how they set it up correctly. I think it's from 1 to 12 o'clock, or 12 o'clock to 1 o'clock. They set it up really nicely and all in sync. So I did really enjoy that, and I do like just having the little bread plate, and as you can tell I did ask for 2 bits of bread, a milk bun, which is one of my favourite things of going to Japan. As you can see, the wine was delivered. I had some Sprite with it as well, and that bread went down really nicely, especially after having a short nap. So Alex, how was the risotto?
Yeah, it was nice and tasty. Nice freshness of the tomatoes with the kind of the saltiness of the rice. So yeah, a good first starter. And then just before that, they came around with a selection of breads. We were free to choose from. I went for 2 of them. One was a white, whatever that is, and then there was kind of more of a milkier sort of one. Then we didn't go for the brown one. Neither of us did. But yeah, on to the main course.
So I had the tuna tataki, and wow, it was a explosion of flavours in the mouth. It came with some wasabi, which I didn't touch. Beautifully presented. And I think that's a lot of it, isn't it? That food can taste great, but if it's presented waffly, it's meh. But I'm really impressed so far. So that's the first course. Let's have a look to see how the main goes.
Ronan went for the grilled beef fillet, as you can see there. I also went for this option, however, unfortunately it wasn't available, so I went for the sautéed pork loin instead, which came with a side of vegetables. And also came with a small pot of gravy, as you can see there. Of course, we had to have more champagne. I went for the selection of cheeses. This consisted of red cheddar, also known as red Leicester, Emmental, Camembert, and Gorgonzola. And Ronan went for a sweeter option, which was the yuzu citrus cake, torch pineapple with some sort of cream. And then it was ready, and then we were ready for a little nap.
After a few more hours, it was time to wake up to have our light lunch, or light meal as British Airways do like to call it. There was a few options available. You had a choice of the king prawn salad, which Alex went for, which looked absolutely delicate. We also had a choice of a burrata and courgette salad. Not interested in that, funnily enough. But that king prawn salad was beautiful. I went for the grilled chicken teriyaki with some rice. This was nice, but not as nice as the katsu curry on jowl, of course. Then goes to the worst part of the flight, the IFE. I cannot explain how frustrating the system on the 787 is, especially when you're in a first class product. It's got a touch screen which doesn't work properly. The remote doesn't work touch screen properly. And as you can see, I had to watch something on my phone. Totally infuriating. And this is one of the points we contacted BA about afterwards. It really just was not acceptable when you are paying so much for a seat. So yeah, that was it. The entertainment was the most frustrating part for me about this flight, and it really just soured my mouth about the British Airways product. So we don't have much footage of the landing into Heathrow, but that was our lunchtime meal, and this is Alex sometime during the flight having a tea and biscuit. What can I say about the flight? 6 or 7 out of 10. Would I recommend it? No. Would I recommend it if it was at the right price point? I think we probably ended up paying about $1,400 for this fare due to a deal we got on the flights and some changes that were made by British Airways with their schedules. So yeah, for that price, $1,500, well worth it. But if I was paying the full $6,000, no. Pick JAL, pay a few grand more, because if you're paying $6,000 anyway, you might as well take it all the way up to $10,000 return.
I have to agree, Ronan, there wasn't anything really wow about the experience we had on board this flight. Although we did contact British Airways and we thought they handled it very well afterwards. Yeah, we've got loads more videos coming up. We've got the JAL First Class lounge video at Teneida. We've got some cruise content, and we've got lots of other flights coming up as well. So if you did enjoy this video, please do make sure you're subscribed by clicking the subscribe button, and give us a like as well. See you next time.